Hi, this is Luca, and I'm going to be doing my designers video commentary on my digital magazine. I'm going to be showing you screenshots of my magazine, and so I'm just telling you what I did to make the magazine and what sort of like compression files I use, images, just the whole method I have. The reason I have screenshots is because when I put the files when I put the files on my computer at home, uh, it some of the images don't show up. So I'm just doing screenshots, and it'll pretty much be the same. So here we have a folder of mag screenshots, but originally it was just called mag, short for magazine, and it's pretty much exactly the same setup here. We got loads of folders, individual folders of each page document. The reason to do this is because you put all these pages into a folio builder, which will make it look like, so when you swipe sideways it will go to a different page, because if you had all these on the same document, then it would be you would have to scroll upwards and it would be one big article, and you wouldn't want that. So if you go under here, I see I have two screenshots, but originally there would be two InDesign files, which would be, so this would be cover .indd, which is the InDesign file format name. So if I open this up, you see I've made two versions of this, one vertical and one horizontal, and the reason of making one of these vertical and one of these horizontal is because with the iPad you can turn it landscape and portrait, and then doing this when moving the iPad to which way you want to read it, it will customize itself to go and match what it will look better if you designed them separately. So if I just got the landscape, the portrait version, horizontal version, and just put it into a vertical version, then it just wouldn't look right. And you see that the InDesign here is in a different place to here. Just makes it look better when depending on which way you want to read it. So in this image I have my 3D model of a clock robot, and the whole magazine is about 3D, and I've made like a special edition week called a Robot Week, and that essentially is basically just showing off robots in a 3D magazine and just showing what they do. So here is a JPEG image from when I was rendering out this image from Maya, and what you essentially do is you when you press render, you go into the settings of Maya and hit JPEG, and it renders it out into a JPEG onto the desktop. And what I did was drag and dropped it into InDesign, scaled it right, and I made sure when I was rendering it that it would be the exact same pixels as what an iPad is, so there would be no blurriness, no pixelation, and it just gives a better effect of the whole magazine, just gives it better to look at. So yeah, this is my that's the front cover. So horizontal, vertical, vertical, horizontal. Okay, so if we go over to my other articles, so we've got welcome, it's the next page. Open this here. Here we have the welcome page, it's the second page article, and here you see it says Robot Week, and this basically on this side explains what the article is going to be including. So it's welcome to Inside 3D, and this right here is a scrollable frame, so when you scroll up and down you can see more of the article, what it's talking about. And in the actual iPad magazine there is a video embedded into this page, so there would be a little play button, and once you press the little play button, a little animation that I've made would come up just about 3D stuff like robots. And I've done the same here as the vertical, horizontal the landscape one. Um, yeah, it's just designed differently to get a better look for it, because it wouldn't look as good if you kept it all the same. So we go on to the next page. It's the contents, and the contents, there wasn't much to the contents, just another image that I did the same technique of rendering out in a JPEG at the right resolution. And the reason that this looks a bit blurry now is because in InDesign there are when you're previewing it, it gets blurry, so that it won't be slow. So if it was previewing a whole resolution image, it might tend to be a bit slow. And so here we have the portrait, and that's horizontal and vertical. There, the same, pretty much, you get the same idea. And yeah, and we go on to the next page. Now here I do have some imagery from a DSLR camera, Canon 550 D, which is my camera. See, I've made a horizontal and vertical. Here we see the images here, and here, and all of these images were taken with the DSLR. And what I had to do was, after taking them out on the camera, I'd have to go input them all on my computer, and they'll originally save as JPEG. But what I did was then I put them into Photoshop, turn them all black and white, and save them as a JPEG again, so that saving it in other formats might have been a bit more difficult to embed into InDesign. When a JPEG, you can literally drag and drop and just do the scale and size, and it would just be as easy as that. So that was what those images were from. And what I did here from here was got this image from David, and he let me borrow this, and all I did was go into his YouTube page and pause it where I thought when he was like showing us off, and just screenshotted it. And screenshots do come out as a JPEG, so it was literally a drag and drop situation like before. Now, if I go onto my other page of Everyday Robots, you see we have loads of pictures here. We got a picture here, and on this side of the image is not a rendered out version, it's actually a preview version. So I had to screenshot half of it and then render out the rest, so give this effect that this is what it looks like before you render it, and this is what it looks like after you render it. What is the same thing, it's just JPEG, all of these are JPEGs. And yeah, and I've using JPEGs on here as a RGB, RGBs, red, blue and green. So because iPads are pixel based, our pixels pick up the RGB and they make all the colours. And if I had to print it, it would be YMCK, I think that's what it's called, or YCMK, which is like the other colours that would make up a print. That's what printers use. And yeah, so here's the other version of it. So when you flip it around, so as you see, while saving these photos these documents into InDesign, you would need to save it as you see up here. It says winner Everyday Robots underscore V, and there's winner Everyday Robots underscore H, which meant a horizontal and vertical. And if you didn't do this, then the iPad wouldn't recognize which way to do. So if you had it vertical and you didn't put vertical here, then it just wouldn't respond. But and if you switch them around by accident, so if I accidentally put this as H and that one as V, the iPad would just get really confused, and it would try and fill up what the horizontal would be, and it would literally be like half of the page, because that's what fits into an iPad, and you don't want that. So if I go into the other pages, it's pretty much throughout the whole magazine that much. I didn't use that much. I didn't really use Photoshop apart from turning anything black and white. I didn't really use Adobe Illustrator, because I had no intentions to do that. But what you see here is this black box, and I made this with tools over here. I think tools are really helpful. They can make any shape, so I made this shape and just imported them in. And because iPads don't run on Flash, they can't run the animation that is presetted into InDesign. So originally, everything like this would fade in from white, and it would be there. This would like come out from the side. I think no, this would fade as well, and this would pop up, like up from the bottom of the page. But as iPads don't run on Flash, you couldn't preview it in on the iPads. But if you had like another tablet that did run on Flash, you would be able to preview it. It's just an iPad technical difficulty. So when I finished all of these pages, what I did was got all of these different documents and put them into the folio builder, which is along here, one screenshot, and it's a little box that pops up, and you put all the different files in there to create the magazine. And to share it, because we needed to share it to an email for it to get marked, you just press the share, and then it goes to the email address you put in, and just press share, and it's simple as that. It really is. Yeah, and that's how you would share a magazine, and you would be able to, if you go back to like the main folio menu, you could do several magazines and click onto one title, and it would take you up to all the different articles. And that's why it's important to have different folders for different articles, so you could structure it really well and just keep it all neat and tidy. And yeah, that's pretty much all I had to do to make this magazine. If you wanted to see the rest of the magazine, it's just you got an ad here, which I made. There you go. And all those JPEGs, everything's the same, just the JPEG. Didn't use any more file formats. I didn't need to scan anything. I didn't need to do that much. Didn't really need lines and curves, only to make like these shapes over here. But apart from that, there wasn't much technical things I had to do. For other people might have to make stuff in Illustrator or Photoshop, but for me, I really just didn't need to do it, and I'm pretty proud of the result. So yeah, that's my designer's video commentary, and I hope you enjoyed the magazine, and hope you liked the evaluation. Thanks.